a very modern show. So I want to ask you, which were for you the biggest challenge to face to make a show like this?
I think on a practical level, producing this show entirely through quarantine and from work from home, there were a number of challenges that were impossible to predict or anticipate because we were all figuring it out together, as time progressed. And we developed the show from home. We started production from home. We've entered post-production from home. So through every phase, there were new challenges and new things to learn from other shows that maybe had also gone through it and try to adapt those concepts for our own production.
Yeah, and creatively, we definitely wanted to do a new spin, and the challenge was, something that was, truthfully, inherently Transformers, yet, creating a whole new species of Transformers, the Terrans, and how did they fit in, and with the Autobots and the Decepticons in the past, and getting that balance really, really nice. The balance between action and comedy and heart and adventure. It was good fun. Yeah.
Which elements, the Terrans asked to have in that cannot miss in this new species of Transformers for you, because they're kind of new species, but they have some elements that clearly is about Transformers. So which was for you the elements that they asked that cannot be missed?
We knew they were going to change modes and have bot modes and vehicle modes, and finding what those vehicle modes were was a great challenge and a lot of fun. And we wanted each of those to come from character and kind of illustrate their personalities. But we also wanted them to be on the younger side comparatively to the legacy bots like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Megatron, and Elita 1, and so forth and so on. So we knew there were going to be some similarities between the two generations of bots, but we really enjoyed playing with the separation and the gap between those generations, and getting to treat those Terrans, Thrash and Twitch, like younger bots, kind of how Bumblebee's always been treated among the Autobots himself. And that's why creatively, when we were developing the show, we felt like Bumblebee was going to be that perfect middle ground between those two generations as the mentor to the Terrans, and teaching the Terrans how to be bots and how to be heroes, while the human family, the Maltos, Robbie and Mo, are going to teach them the human side of their heritage and how to be a family and how to be a unit and siblings.
And how the Terrans would identify with as themselves, having obviously coming from Cybertronian descent, but they weren't a part of the Autobot and Decepticon conflict. So how do they identify themselves?
Really cool. Yeah,
there are some flashbacks, at least in the episode that I watched, kind of flashbacks, and I really like, the link between the past and the present. So I want to simply ask something about this. How did you come up with the idea? How the idea, is born?
Well, we knew we didn't want to retread any story space that previous Transformers films or animated series have done so brilliantly in the past. And so we wanted to tell the next chapter of their story after the Great War for the Allspark. That's been a foundation for so many of those projects. So that was our starting point of that'll be part of the backstory, but everyone kind of already knows it, and we can get that exposition out in a very fun way, which is that 2D drunk history inspired sequence that you're referencing. And we were really excited to see what comes next. How does peacetime change or shift any of the character dynamics between these iconic characters who have known each other for mega cycles? And what does introducing a new species of bot do to those dynamics? And we've been having a lot of fun exploring that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of felt a little bit old because I was there when there was. So, yay.
We're huge fans of G1. I think myself grew up with it. And what better way than to catch up the audience than with a little bit of nostalgia. We think it's very much a family show. So for the parents watching with the kids, I think hopefully everybody gets a kick out of it.
Yeah, about the family show, clearly there are a lot of relationships in the show because we have parents and then kids and then the relationship between the parents and the kids. It is really all well written, so congratulations first of all, because it really take me inside the story. But I want to ask you something about this. How did you manage all this, level or relationship between all the main characters of this story?
Well, the finding the heart of the Maltos was absolutely wonderful. They're such a great family, and they're so accepting, and they're brave and they're funny, and Dale, when he was developing that family, he knocked it out of the park.
Well, thank you, and Ant and our other our season 1 EP and story editor Nicole Dubuque was a huge help in all of that development. Mm-hmm. And we wanted a family that felt authentic and real, and we wanted them to feel like you can relate to them, or they're your neighbors, or these folks, and so we came at it with as much authenticity as possible, and that was the foundation that became the Maltos, and we're thrilled that all that heart and sincerity comes through the screen.
Mm-hmm. And I think Dale even pulled a lot from his own experience in Pennsylvania, and Philly,
yep,
and traveling and just leaving a place. And
yeah, when I was around Robbie's age, my family moved across the county, which was across a highway, and at that age I wasn't allowed to ride my bike across that highway, so my whole friend system was suddenly too far away to get to, and it created challenges and affected me emotionally. And like Ant mentioned, yeah, we often draw from our personal experiences because we think they're very relatable on many fronts for many folks in their own ways, and put them into the show. Mm-hmm.
Especially the relationship between the two brothers. I kind of watch it and say, okay, that's me. It's really realistic. I guess it's really relatable. One last question, considering the making of during the quarantine, were you proud of yourself when you finally watch, the product? Because I'm curious about it. I guess it's a weird way of making the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're incredibly proud of the entire team. Really, we're one part of a much bigger, team that really went out of their way to. In very, very trying times to try to produce the best, and a show they possibly can. It comes from a lot of heart. We started off the show with an art director, Angelo Villar, and he put everything into it, and it was absolutely beautiful. The work and the entire team just really, really came together, and it was really great.
Yeah, I think that was the most beautiful part for all of us, is just seeing the camaraderie amongst the entire crew, figuring out, problem solving constantly to work toward a collective dream of creating something so beautiful that we could eventually share with the world was satisfying and inspiring.